Well, the Supreme Court gave an important interim order yesterday. It stayed some controversial clauses, but allowed much of the Waqf Amendment Act to stand. A leading critic of the law, Asaduddin Owaisi, an MP from the MIM party, joins us now. He's also been part of the JPC on Waqf. Thank you, Mr. Owaisi. Always a pleasure to have you on NDTV. Let me begin by asking you, does this order strengthen your case or weaken it? Because I know that you've not really welcomed it. You say that the devil is in the details. It's all about a state till the rules are framed. How do you see what happened yesterday?
Well, it's not a question of whether it strengthens me, but it doesn't strengthen the Waqf board system. It weakens it, and in the end, I am of the opinion that this will lead to the destruction of Waqf properties, and it will not, the government is not at all interested in protecting the Waqf system. They have called it an alien idea to our country. And with the Supreme Court not staying the major amendments, I am of the opinion that this will lead to encroachers of Waqf property being rewarded. It will be a violation of Article 26, 29, and that is why I feel that yesterday was not a good order for the Waqf protection itself.
Right. Mr. Owaisi, on particularly the 5-year practicing Islam clause, the court has stayed this condition for now. What is your fear? Do you think that the government may still define practicing Islam in ways that could invite a sense of discrimination? What is your apprehension?
If you read that order, madam, the Supreme Court has not given a complete stay. They have said that let the government enact rules. Now that the devil will be in the details. And I am of the opinion that is there such a rule for any person who embraces religions like Hinduism, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, that some rules will be made before he can endow his own property to the particular religion he has embraced. Now that is not the case. So the government would, I'm sure, would make rules in such a way wherein it will be difficult. And third point is that anyone can even question any Muslim being a Muslim. Now who's going to decide that? Now, that is the fact of the matter. And lastly, it is very unfortunate, with all the respect I have for the Honorable Supreme Court, can the BJP government show us that any person has accepted Islam and then given his property to the Waqf board? Now, this sort of argument is completely wrong. So that is why I feel that this 5 years is not a complete stay. The rules will definitely be made by BJP in such a way that it becomes next to impossible for anyone. And the biggest joke would be that tomorrow if a person decides to accept Islam, he will be free to give his own property to any religion or to even to any organization, and there will be no such rules stopping him.
Right. Mr. Owaisi, but there's one rule, the cap on non-Muslims in state Waqf boards, also the central Waqf boards. That should be a good sign, isn't it? Because your original criticism was also the fact that the amendment alters representation, it reduces traditional categories. In fact, it goes against the Constitution, is what you had said.
Yes, the Supreme Court has not given a stay on it. They have put a number on it. But our argument, which is I believe is right, that it violates Article 26. These are religious charitable organizations which are given by the Muslims, and if you want people from a different religion to come and administer it and to also be involved in the religious affairs of this particular Muslim Waqf board, then will the courts tomorrow also say that a non-Sikh can become a member of Gurdwara Prabandhan Committee? Will the BJP government and will the courts also say that the Hindu endowment boards will consist of members who do not belong to that particular faith or who don't belong to Hinduism? So on parity, we are saying that if that is not allowed in the Hindu endowment board, in the Sikh Gurdwara Prabandhan Committee, or even in the Bodh Gaya trust which is there, how is it that this is being done? And please, last point on this particular amendment which Supreme Court has not stayed. Please remember that the state Waqf boards, there will be no more elections. earlier for MP category, MLA category, Mutawalli category, and from the judiciary, they were elections. And the elected members were there in the Waqf board. Now it's all the way going to be nomination of the state government, and majority of the states in our country are ruled by either BJP or their allies. So you can very well understand that all these people who will be appointed will have to follow the diktats of the ideology of Hindutva, which will ultimately lead to the destruction of Waqf properties.
Okay. But Mr. Owaisi, the interim stay, as far as I understand, also curtails some authority of collectors over Waqf properties, and this was something I believe even was discussed in the Waqf JPC. Are you happy with that particular aspect?
No, so the interesting thing is the Honorable Supreme Court felt it will be a violation of natural justice. So the Honorable Supreme Court has protected their territory, that no, you cannot enter our territory. The courts will decide. But at the same time, the fundamental rights of Constitution, what about them? And please remember, registration will be done by collector, survey will be done by the collector, and the collector has immense powers. Earlier, it was a survey commissioner who was in hierarchy. He was a senior to the collector. Now it is going to be the other way around. So the collector still plays a very important role. End of the day, the collector is appointed by the executive, and no collector would want to go against any BJP government or any government. To collectors, I'll give an example. Recent example of my state in Telangana. There's a place called Nalgonda. There is a huge property belonging to a dargah. Now, under political pressure, the collector of that area wanted the state Telangana Waqf Board to give an NOC. I had to intervene and say, where is the question of giving an NOC? You can take a Waqf land under the Land Acquisition Fair Compensation Act 2013. You write the letter. So if this is happening in Telangana, you can very well imagine all these glorified collectors would be dancing to the tunes of the BJP.
Okay. But sir, two similar reactions have come. One, of course, from the opposition, the petitioner saying that except Waqf by user, which they expected to be stayed, they are saying that it's more or less a positive sign. The government has said that this is a good sign for democracy, and it has claimed that this is a law that's going to protect poor Muslims, and it's in fact going to stop encroachment, something that you have also talked about earlier. How do you look at both the opposition's view of things and also the government's view of things?
The opposition is completely off the mark. The opposition parties are not being briefed properly by the people who know the law of Waqf, who have read in detail the amendments made by the Narendra Modi government. Now, if they take comfort in the stay given by the Honorable Supreme Court on 3C, what about ASI becoming the owners of Waqf properties? Now, you are absolutely right. I have read all these statements from these big leaders of opposition parties. In fact, some of them welcomed it. Some of them have said, oh, we are going to go and garland this esteemed lawyer. But what is it? What is it that you have gained? It will be a loss of Waqf board. I'll give an example so that people can understand what I'm saying. Right up to the amendment, before the amendment of this act, the masjids and dargahs and khanqahs, even if they were a protected monument under ASI, the Asmar Act, they were still controlled and owned by the Waqf board. Now, this particular amendment was moved on the day of the debate in Lok Sabha with of course, the last minute consent of Speaker. From now on, because Supreme Court has not given a stay, ASI will be controlling it. Now, ASI can tomorrow say that, okay, this is a masjid. You cannot pray 5 times a day. You only pray 1 time a day or once a week, because the monument, it's a protected monument. It becomes weak. They will not change the religious character of that place.
Right.
And I'm giving you an example. Unfortunately, it might come true. You know, I don't want it to come true. Sambal Masjid. Now, Sambal Masjid is a protected monument. The ASI would say, oh no, it's your masjid. But the monument is a protected monument. You should only come here only once a week. And the rest of the time, we'll allow the general janta to come and have a look at a protected monument. So Waqf board has lost it. Another example, there are Waqf evacuee properties in large parts of Western UP, Haryana and Punjab, which the respective boards get huge income. Now the collector is the owner, Waqf board is not the owner. Third example, tribal areas, the government has said through this amendment, again it was brought in at on the day of debate, no Waqf property can be given in the tribal areas. I am asking a question to the Prime Minister of this country, what will happen to Hamdullah Saeed, who happens to be a Muslim tribal?
Right.
So he cannot give his own property to make it Waqf.
Okay.
Isn't that a violation of Article 25, Article 29, our right to equality? Where is this? And last point on that ASI. The ASI is not doing the same thing to the other religious places. The ASI will definitely do it for all dargahs, khanqahs and the masajis.
Right.
This is not my apprehension. This will come true, unfortunately.
Right. And sir, if it comes through, unfortunately, what is going to be your legal strategy? And also as an eminent parliamentarian, the other view that the Supreme Court chose to have an interim stay on certain provisions, does that undermine parliamentary democracy or issue checks, important checks on the powers of the executive?
No, Supreme Court is supreme. We have separate theory of separation of powers. The executive is independent. The legislature is independent. The Supreme Court is independent. See, the Waqf by user, I wish I can take you when you're in Hyderabad or in UP. There are so many masjids wherein the maker of the masjid has not registered it in the Waqf board. Now, because he has not registered it, how can you deny that man must be having some vested interest for registering Waqf board? But please understand, he has made this masjid. The owner is the Almighty Allah.
Right.
He is the mutawalli, that is. Thirdly, I am the beneficiary. Now, because he has made a masjid, he has not registered. Tomorrow, any BJP government will destroy it because there is no more Waqf by user. You have not registered it. I am the beneficiary. Why do you want to penalize me?
Right.
So these are important questions. That is why I feel that the Honorable Supreme Court must start the final hearing of this whole act, and we'll again put forward all these views. But yesterday has not been a good day for the protection of Waqf properties. That is what I can tell you.
Mr. Owaisi, very valid points. Just last two questions. The Prime Minister was in Purnia yesterday. Simanchal was where your party was a stunner in 2020. You won 5 seats. What is your expectation from Bihar elections this time? And how is MIM placed? Because we also hear reports that MIM could be part of the India bloc.
No, the Prime Minister has gone to the Simanchal, but can the Prime Minister tell the people of Simanchal why hasn't their demand of opening a railway station in Kochadaman materialized? You have been in power for years and years. Why haven't you opened the Purnia airport earlier, which has a very big, longest runway? Thirdly, why haven't you started this railway track line from Jalalabad to Kishanganj? Why haven't you opened an AIIMS in Simanchal? Why have you only made Gaya an industrial zone? Why not Kishanganj? Why not Araria? Why not Katihar? So the Prime Minister has come, but for what? Why have you not able to control the floods? What have you done? Every year, lakhs of acres of land is cut because of floods. The area gets disconnected. Why hasn't the Prime Minister able to tell the youth of Simanchal? Nearly lakhs of people go to work in fields of Punjab or in Kerala, or work in Hyderabad or Delhi or Mumbai. What have you done? You will only come there and talk about demography. You will only come and say Hindu, Muslim, and the other side would say, oh, Mr. Owaisi is the B team. But these are the real issues pertaining to Simanchal, which is the most underdeveloped area of our country.
Right. But Mr. Owaisi, will MIM be part of India bloc, or would you want to be part of India bloc in Bihar?
You see, our party president, MLA, Mr. Akhtarul Iman, has written 2 letters to Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. Recently, he has written 1 letter to Tejaswi Yadav. Now, what else can we do? And in fact, in the 3rd letter to Mr. Tejaswi Yadav, he said that we only won 6 seats.
Right.
We won 5 seats. Now, it is up to them. If you want, they have their prerogative, they are independent, we are independent to contest seats. But I don't know what will happen, but as far as our party is concerned, we will definitely contest with all the fervor and rigor and the hard work that is required. And we owe responsibility to people of Simanchal, and the people of Simanchal feel that they have been betrayed because the people they elected with a lot of hopes who would stand and talk about justice for Simanchal, they have betrayed them.
Right. Mr. Owaisi, my last question to you. You have spoken in defense of Operation Sindoor, but you've been a critic of the recently held India-Pakistan match in the Asia Cup. Why do you think that India shouldn't have played that match?
Why are we see the government says we are not going to play bilateral matches. What is the Indus Water Treaty? What is Indus Water Treaty? Please tell us. Why are you stopping the 80% of water? What kind of argument is this? You are only playing because you want BCCI to earn money. Now, if you want to earn money, can all these BJP leaders, can they call those people and say, oh, please watch the match? Now, if BJP was not in power, what would BJP do? BJP would have taken out huge rallies, dharnas, and they might have even said biryani khai. People are these BCCI eating biryani and making money, and the country has lost other people. Point is, at some time, nationalism does not mean that you only use nationalism to win elections. Nationalism means that what is the value of an Indian who was brutally killed, and he was killed because he was not following Islam, but the terrorists coming for Pakistan asked religion and shot him in his head, right, in front of his family and a newlywed wife. Sometimes you have to stand up, forget about what is the loss. You have to stand up, and that is the way you fight terrorism. You don't say, oh, we are not playing bilateral, this is that argument. These arguments don't hold water,
Right. Thank you, Mr. Owaisi, for your valuable time, and always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you, Mr. Owaisi.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.